Hello. How is everybody out there tonight? Let's see. Am I coming through loud and clear? Let me see. See. Yep, I sure am. I am coming through loud and clear. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. I have posted a poll in the chat already. Let me know your thoughts on Scream 6. Is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Let me know. Let's see who I got with me here so far tonight. We've got Brandon Blankenship, Saturn Video, Scratch Burno, Jojo Rice, Creasefold, Entertainment Wizard, Pepaw. We got Usu. We got Mike, the Real Fifth Beetle, Geriatric Geek. How you doing tonight, sir? Boogie Manny, what's up? Joe Reese, how you doing? Michael Sullivan, hello. RJ Scottinky, what's up, RJ? We've got Dream Emulator. Matt, how's it going, sir? Hope you're doing well. What's up, Dave? Not If I See You First. What's up? I certainly do have. I've always got the good doctor ready to roll. So, the good doctor's always nearby. Put it that way. What's up, Tanker Yanker? What's up, Alyssa Milano? What's up, Future Dead Camper? How you doing? Oh my goodness, Scream 6. Scream 6. We got John's Cool World. My buddy Swaggy G over on Twitch. What's up, Swaggy? Hope you're doing well tonight, sir. First off, let's congratulate Jamie Lee Curtis. She just won an Oscar like 5 minutes ago. So, congratulations, Jamie Lee Curtis.
No, I wouldn't dream of breaking your underwear rule.
Who's breaking my underwear rule? It's Nico. That's fine. Nico can break the underwear rule all he wants. Nico, thank you for the $10 super chat, sir. Nico reporting from Scream News Center 6. How's it going, man? What were your thoughts on Scream 6, Nico? I heard you liked it, but tell us more in depth. What'd you think of Scream 6? But yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis is officially an Oscar winner. She's now Academy Award winner, Jamie Lee Curtis. So congratulations to her. That's pretty cool. Hey. Congratulations, Jamie Lee. This Coke Zero is for you. It is her first Oscar. It is her first Oscar, yes. So, good for her. Good for Jamie Lee. So yes, let's talk about Scream 6, shall we? Let me know, let's take a look at the poll here real quick. 76% are giving Scream 6 the thumbs up. Not bad. I think most of the feedback I've heard about Scream 6 has been positive, mostly positive. However, the people who did not like Scream 6, it seems like they really disliked Scream 6. So I'll just go ahead and dive into my own thoughts on the movie real quick. I did do a full review, non-spoilers. And as far as spoilers are concerned here, I'm not going to get too in depth. I'm not going to throw any major spoilers out there. There were some people who asked me about spoilers before the stream today. I'm not going to throw any major spoilers out there, but I basically just said you may want to be careful in the chat. I can't promise there won't be some spoilers thrown out in the chat. So aside from the major spoilers, try and keep those, hush hush on those. But smaller things, I think we can talk about here. And it's not going to be that big of a deal. Really, I think the only major spoilers are going to be the reveal of the killer. So try and keep that under wraps. Let's not spoil that. Everything else, I can't think of really anything else in the movie other than who lives and who dies that would be considered really spoilerish. So, yeah. Nico really enjoyed it. Didn't need Neve, i.e. shoehorn as killing implement. No surprises, but the best set pieces of the entire series. Very nicely said, Nico. I agree. I agree with a lot of what you just said there, especially Neve, Sydney. I did not miss her one bit in this movie. Not one bit. But I'll get into that a little bit more later. I went into Scream 6 with I wouldn't say low expectations. All I wanted was a decent slasher, period. I wasn't expecting anything more. I wasn't expecting, Scream 6 to redefine the horror genre. I wasn't expecting it to blow my mind. I wasn't expecting it to do anything other than deliver a good slasher, or not even I said a decent slasher movie. Just give me a decent slasher movie and I'll be happy. And I felt like it delivered that. I might even say it's a little better than just a decent slasher movie. There's issues with it. There's plenty of issues, I think, with it. Some of the reviews I've seen have been pretty over the top. One review called it flawless. Okay. There's been some really crazy over the top reviews for the movie, but that happens just about every time, one of these big franchise, movies is released. They just get ridiculous praise. Anywho. Dude who loves movies, Cody. How you doing, sir? Apollo Balboa 85. What's up? How you doing? There's Alexis. How's it going? Did you see Kevin Williamson's fingerprints on the movie? He didn't write it, but I think he got final approval on it. No, I really didn't see. It didn't feel. The beats felt very much like a Scream movie, but other than that, I don't know. It didn't feel like, to me, I don't know. And it wasn't just the setting, the location, but it didn't feel like, to me, some of the other Scream movies kind of have felt. Richard Keith Bailey, what's up? How you doing? So yeah, so Scream 6 delivered a decent slasher movie for me, and that's really all I wanted, period. So I was happy with the movie. If I had to give it a grade, I'd probably give it, I don't know, a B-, C+, maybe? No, I'll give it a B-. I was entertained. I was thoroughly entertained throughout. I was never bored, and I had a good time with it. I just wanted to be entertained, and that's exactly what it did. But I do think Scream 6 did a few things really, really well. And number one is they allowed Sam and Tara to carry the movie. They allowed them to shine, which in Scream 5, to me, all of the new core group really felt like they were playing second fiddle to the legacy characters. It didn't feel that way here. Even the inclusion of Gale, and I was so concerned that they were only going to bring Gale back here, just to bump her off in the opening or do something with her the same way they did with Dewey in 5. But she was a second fiddle character, and they let Sam and Tara and the core four, they really let them shine. They let them develop, and I appreciated that. I thought Sam, Melissa Barrera, a lot of people had issues with her in 5. I really didn't. I really didn't have any issues with her in 5, but I thought she delivered a really strong performance here. If anything, to me, it felt like Tara, Jenna Ortega's character, just didn't really have, she was in the movie more, but she didn't have a whole lot to do. So I understand, Jenna Ortega's like becoming the star now. Everybody loves Jenna Ortega, yada, yada, yada. So it makes sense that she's going to be in the movie more, but it just kind of felt like she was a tag along throughout a good chunk of it. She had her little love thing with Chad going on, which was kind of cute. I mean, that was, whatever. And then other than that, it was just like, she had that opening part with the dude at the party and, her blow up on Sam talking about, just let me go. Let me be free. Let me live my life, blah, blah, blah. But then other than that, it was like she was just a tag along. But I did like that they let them carry the movie. Chad, I like Chad. I don't know. That character is growing on me. I like him, but the Mindy character to me, and no disrespect to the actress, that character is so annoying. When she got up and started laying out the rules for sequels to requels, it was the cringiest stuff I've ever heard. This is the 6th movie in the freaking series. We know the rules. We know the rules. And if you're paying attention, 5 pretty much followed the rules of 1. This one pretty much followed the rules of 2. So if they're going to continue that trajectory, Scream 7 is going to follow the rules of 3, right? So who cares? We know the rules. We get it. Just let it go. Let it go. That was so cringy to me. I couldn't stand it. Could not stand it. But there were some really nice suspenseful moments in this movie. And I don't remember the attack on Gale was the first time in the Scream series, I think, past maybe the first one, really, honestly, where I felt like I didn't know how it was going to end. And I thought that was a really well done sequence. There was a lot of tension. There was a lot of suspense. And I thought it ended perfectly. That was my favorite sequence in the whole movie, because I felt like I didn't know how it was going to end. And so few horror movies, particularly slasher movies, can do that. For me, at least. The scene on the subway, the now you see me, now you don't, Ghostface stuff on the subway, I thought that was good. That was really well done. Of course, it was cool that it was like Halloween and there were all these people dressed as Jason and Pinhead, and, there was a Babadook, and there was, there were horror characters everywhere. That was cool. I enjoyed that. And the scene with the ladder, even though, you kind of know, I knew how that scene was going to play out. Still, if you're somebody who's not that hot on heights, that one will probably give you the heebie-jeebies a little bit too. So there were 3, I think, really well done, suspenseful sequences in this movie. And I don't remember. What was a really good suspenseful scene in 5? What was a really good suspenseful scene in 4? What was a really good suspenseful scene in 3? I don't remember. But 3 good suspenseful scenes in Scream 6. And the pacing of this movie was incredible. Incredible. I was not bored for an instant. Yes, please drop a like on the stream. I would certainly appreciate that. Thank you very much. So yeah, I can definitely give the movie kudos on all those levels. I was never bored, super fast pace. And you know what? I thought for the first time in a long time, Ghostface was actually menacing, because usually Ghostface is tripping over his own feet. He wasn't doing that here. Ghostface was pretty cat-like. He was quick. He was mean. He was getting stabby with it in a very aggressive way. And I appreciated that. So there's a lot there's a lot to like in my book when it comes to Scream 6. Dylan says Mindy is very annoying. I agree. Hey, Wednesday and Edith, how are you? The taser. Michael Sullivan mentions the taser. Yes, the taser. Yes, that was painful. That was very painful. What's up, Randall Beatty? How are you doing? Ending was the worst part. And I do agree. I did like the Scream mask. I did really like that weathered, cracked, it's kind of a, it's kind of a play on the Michael Myers mask, of course, from the new Halloween series, I guess, or new trilogy, what have you. Nico says, I had no emotional connection to Kirby because 4 is the film in the series I did not like. I did not like 4 either. I think 4 is my least favorite, but Kirby was the only character in that movie that I remotely liked. I will say, hey, what's up, Joey? How are you doing? Mark Striano, what's up? As far as dislikes are concerned, jackhammer knifing. That's right. That's right. Saturn video. Jackhammer knifing. Yes. Ghostface was big on the jackhammer knifing in this movie. Big time. As far as dislikes are concerned for the movie, yeah, Kirby felt so shoehorned in, and she really does not have a lot to do. So I think even the most hardcore Kirby fan watching this movie, you're probably going to be disappointed because she's just kind of there. She's not the same spunky kind of Kirby character, and I get it. Like, oh, she's older now, and she's a survivor, and she's a FBI agent. I did love the dialogue between Gale and Kirby when they first are reunited, and Gale's like, "What are you, 30? The FBI's hiring kids now. Okay." And like, I get that was supposed to be like one of those moments where you go, maybe Kirby's a suspect. But to me, it just highlighted how ridiculous the fact that she's even in the movie to begin with. And I got a good chuckle out of it. There's Christian in the chat. What's up? He says, hey, Piz, Chevy Chase has his front row seats to the show. Can he get a shout out? Of course. Shout out to Chevy Chase. How are you, Chevy? But yeah, Kirby felt wasted to me. Totally wasted. How many? Let me see by a show of hands. 1 in the chat if you missed Neve Campbell. 2 in the chat if you did not miss her at all. Because the whole, the controversy about her not being included in this movie was a big deal for a while, and some people were saying, "Oh, I'm not going to watch the movie. I'm going to boycott the movie if she's not in it. How dare they not pay her what she wants? This is Sydney. She's, and to a certain extent, I agreed with that. I mean, she was the final girl of this series." And they basically told her to hit the road over money. For 5 movies, she was the leader. You know what I mean? She was her face was right on the poster, front and center. And it was money. And they said, hit the road. What's up, Eddie? How you doing? All right, so let's see here. Richard Keith Bailey's there's a 1. Let's see. I'm seeing a lot of 2s. I'm also seeing quite a few 1s in the chat. I'm seeing mostly 2s. Mostly 2s. Okay. So I did not miss Neve at all. I did not miss Sydney in any way. And I really appreciated the fact that I liked that Gale was in it. I liked her scenes in it. Again, I liked the attack on Gale sequence. But they kept her in the background, where she needed to be. Um, so, I mean, I wonder, I'm sure Sydney is going to be in 7. I don't think there's any doubt that Sydney will be back in 7. But I think this proves, and I mean, look, the movie's grossed, what was the gross? 67 million opening weekend. This is the highest grossing opening weekend for a Scream movie ever, and it's the first Scream that does not have Sydney in it. So that says something. I think that definitely says something. I think she'll be back in 7. I don't think there's any doubt that she won't be back in 7. But maybe they're going to reconsider what her, how big her character is going to be. I don't want to see her die. Don't just bring her back in the final installment to kill her off. To me, that's, don't do that. But if you're going to have her in there, it needs to be a supporting character. Give her something like they gave Gail in this one. Make her scenes count, make her scenes impactful, but let Sam and Tara carry the show. So I'm actually surprised to see as many ones in the chat that people missed her. But I mean, I get it. I just felt like I didn't even from the moment go. It never dawned on me that Sydney's not in this movie until they threw out that little mention of like, oh, well, they explained why she's not in the movie, which I don't think they really didn't even need that. But that explanation was just such a blip that like it came and went so quickly to me like it was nothing. And no disrespect to Neve Campbell or anything like that. I just, Sydney was not needed here. She wasn't missed. Let me check the poll again here. We got 82 votes on the poll. 82% of people liked Scream 6. Interesting. Yeah. Richard says he missed Neve for irrational reasons. Okay. I think they shouldn't have included any legacy characters in any. I'm sorry. I don't think they should have had any legacy characters in 5. This new trilogy should have been all new characters. No legacy characters at all. None at all. Yeah. Is there an after credits sequence? Yes, there is an after credits sequence, but it is not worth staying for. Put it that way. Jeremy and I waited through the credits for that after credits sequence, and after it hit, I went, oh, let's go. Let's just get out of here. That was a waste of time. So there is an after credits sequence. I would not stick around for it though. You're not missing anything. Put it that way. But yeah, Scream 6, 67 million opening weekend. Wow. That's a lot of money. And, I wonder what it is about this one that just made people more... does somebody look up the opening weekend total for Scream 5 and post it in the chat? But it just seemed to me like there was a lot more excitement for this one than there was for 5. And I don't know if it was the change of location. I don't know if it was, Jenna Ortega now is a much bigger star. I don't know. What type of setting do you think they should use for Scream 7, New York City, Woodsboro, or somewhere else? Well, let me ask you all, what did you all think of the setting? Was New York a big deal for you guys? Because for me, it nothing really registered as being New York City. It just felt like a major city. That's it. It could have been any major city. It didn't feel necessarily like New York City to me, but I didn't care about that. So a lot of people have kind of nitpicked it for, the setting and it not feeling like New York. And of course they shot it in Canada. I did love the, Jason Takes Manhattan Easter egg in it. Of course, I dug that. 30 million. Okay. So Scream 5 opened with 30.6. Okay. So from 30.6 for 5 to 67 million for 6. That's more than double. Wow. More than double. They did use New York for the marketing. Yes, they did. A big time they used it for the marketing. But nothing about it really screamed New York City to me, and I didn't necessarily mind that. I didn't really mind it. A lot of people have taken umbrage with the film over that. I'm just like, it was a major. It was a big city. That's what it looked like to me. It was a big city. So what kind of, Sydney will be back for 7. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Do you want her to be a lead, or do you want her to have more of a supporting role? Should she be a lead? I don't think she should die. I don't think they would bring her back to kill her in 7. But what are we talking about here? We talking about, I don't know. That's an issue now that Radio Silence is going to have to tackle. I liked it way more than I thought. I was afraid of it being like Jason Takes Manhattan, says Friday Night Films. It would have been cool to see Ghostface in Times Square. Yeah, it would have. Or some big New York City, location to just have Ghostface there. That would have been cool. And they definitely had the budget for it, but, they played it safe and they shot it up in Canada. Sydney should be more connected with the sisters, but the sisters should also be equal. Okay. That doesn't sound bad to me, Brandon. I think it would be weird if she went from no role in 6 to a large role in 7, says Steven. Yeah, it would be. It would be weird. Because, there's going to be a big chunk of time in 7 where, she's going to have to explain, well, here's where I was, and here's why I didn't come help out last time, and, So, I think supporting role, but make it count with her scenes, says William. Yeah. Setting is great, but completely underutilized. I agree. My vision of the movie was something completely different than what we got. I expected more chaos through the streets with dozens of ghost faces roaming. That would have been interesting. The main character plot armor trope was a little too on the nose. Like, really? Yeah. So let's talk about plot armor. And I'm gonna try not to get too spoilery here. But the plot armor was thick in this movie, ridiculously thick. And there's always been plot armor in Scream movies, but the plot armor here was crazy. And it all lent to the, I got the impression right out the gate with this movie to not take it seriously and to just go with the flow and have a good time with it and not expect much, right? So the plot armor stuff, yeah, toward the end, I mean, I rolled my eyes a couple of times, but it didn't affect me that much because I was already, I was already signed off on. I'm not taking it too seriously. I'm not expecting too much. It's a Scream movie, so there's going to be plot armor. But man, the plot armor here was crazy. Characters just getting turned into freaking Swiss cheese. And at the end, they're just like, yeah, I'm good. A-okay over here. Yeah. So I didn't mind it that much. That's been another big sticking point with people. The plot armor. I'm okay with it. But you get to a point where you're just like, wait a minute. Am I watching a scary movie here or am I watching Scream? Is a Wayans brother going to pop out at some point? I'm just glad it didn't end in a toxic sewer. I think it should have ended in a toxic sewer, to be honest. I really wish it would have. The only franchise that has a better sixth movie is Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, says Shane's World. I mean, Jason Lives is also a really good six. Plot armor really annoyed me in this, says Justin. Yeah. Dave was annoyed. Hey, Mr. Flickster, how are you doing? If you're somebody who watches the streams and you don't normally chat or, you're a little shy or whatever, just, say hello. Let us know your thoughts on Scream 6. And you regulars out there, if you see somebody in the chat who you don't recognize, a name you don't recognize, please, be warm and welcoming. But yes, lots and lots of plot armor in this movie. I don't think it was a good thing or a bad thing for me necessarily, but it did get pretty. Yeah, I rolled my eyes at the end. What's up, Zombie Girl? What's up, Redbeard? How you doing? One character made sense if they showed them in the hospital, but not frolicking at the end. Yep, there was some frolicking. There was some frolicking at the end. There's no doubt about that. What's up, Harrison? How are you doing? What's up, Mixon the Dawson? How you doing? DJ Forecast. My hair looks great. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. There's Ryan O'Leary. How you doing tonight, Ryan? I won't see it until later this week. Okay, we're trying to be as non-spoilery as possible. Adrian Stanfield, how are you doing? I liked it, but I wish they made a better ending. Okay. Thoughts on what was said about Candyman? Oh, man. That was another huge cringe moment for me. I won't go into too much detail, but there's a scene where two characters are trying to one-up each other as far as their horror movie, who's the biggest horror movie nerd. And basically they agree on the fact that the Candyman remake and the original Candyman and the Candyman remake are on the same level. One is just as good as the other. My eyes rolled back into my skull so far. I'm surprised they sprang back into place. That may have been, I don't know. The sequel to the requel speech with the rules, that was cringier, but them saying that the Candyman remake was on the same level as the original was, that was very cringy too. Like no. There is no universe where those two movies are on the same level. The killer reveals are always so campy. Here's the thing. When it comes to the killer reveals in these movies, I think I know I've expected too much from the reveals. And I think everybody's expecting like Stu to pop up at some point, and we'll talk about Stu more here shortly.
No, I wouldn't dream of breaking your underwear rule.
Oh, somebody else is breaking my underwear rule. Who's doing that? Creasefold, thank you for the $2 super chat. Stu's a red herring. We all know it's Jeremy. Well, Jeremy loves bloodshed and carnage. He's all about the bloodshed. So yeah, Jeremy would be a good Ghostface. That's for sure. He would apologize, though, after he stabbed you. He'd be like, sorry. Then he'd stab you again. Sorry. Go get Taco Bell and stab you, you know? But, yeah. Thank you, Creasefold. Actually, here's a little tease. Here's a little tease. Somebody else was in New York recently. Me. So I'm just saying. Oh, what was that? Oh gosh. Hope nobody saw that picture. Whew. That was a private photo I was going to send some ladies. Yeah, we won't show that photo again. I've been working out a little bit, but we won't show. Oh, that one came. Oh, sorry about that. That's going to be my OnlyFans profile pic. But yeah, we won't do that again. Hopefully that doesn't pop up again at some point during the stream. So, oh, never mind. Ooh, that's embarrassing. In terms of running time, it was the least painful killer reveal. Yes, I agree. Nico, I agree. I've been very vocal about this in the past. My least favorite part of Scream movies is the killer reveal, and that just overly verbose, long-winded, mind-numbing, coma-inducing motive dump. God, I hate those. They go on and on and on, and like all the motives are the same. It's like, you know, it's revenge for something, or it's like, you know, I want to be famous. You know, it's just you know, but in the case of Scream 6, it wasn't as painful, and it was brief. It was kind of like ripping off a Band-Aid. It was the rip off the Band-Aid killer reveal. So there were still some, you know, I rolled my eyes a time or two, but it was brief. It was brief. So I'll give him that. I'll definitely give him that. And I think that goes to the pacing. I mean, they didn't slow down very often in this movie, other than to create suspense and build on that suspense. And even then, I mean, it was. So, I mean, my hat's off to him for that, for sure. Oh, the opening scene. Yeah, I was getting ready to talk about the opening scene. Yes. So, I love Samara Weaving. So I was happy to see her here. But then I was like, she's in the opening. She's going to die. So I was happy to see her. But at the same time, I was like, oh man. But, and I know, and you know, I'm trying not to get spoilery here. It's not the traditional pre-credit Scream sequence. It's just not. And there were things I liked about, like I saw that swerve coming, and I thought it was okay. I did like I loved Ghostface's quote before they cut to the Scream 6, you know, title. I loved that quote from Ghostface. But I do think they need to mix it up even more with like these opening kill scenes. Again, that's something that's just so expected and just so, you know, you I don't know. It was okay. I didn't gush over it. I kind of saw that swerve coming, but I did like, Ghostface's quote just before they cut to the title. So that was cool. That was cool. It did not feel like 2 hours. It went fast. And how I know it went fast is Jeremy is when Jeremy gets his drink at the theater, we always go to the bathroom before we go into the theater. Or we always go to the bathroom as soon as we get there before we get our popcorn and drinks and whatnot. So that we're empty, right? Because Jeremy has a bad tendency to down his soda, and then about halfway or 3/4 of the way through the movie, he's got to go to the bathroom. He did not go to the bathroom at all during Scream 6, and he drank a huge, like I got him a small drink, and they still brought it out in like a bucket. So I mean, it was it was still like $7, but I mean, it was like a bucket of Pepsi they brought to him. He drank it all. He even sat through all the credits for the end credit scene. And then after that, he was like, go to the bathroom. So he waited throughout the whole movie, held it in, all the credits, and, was good to go. You snuck a Mountain Dew in. We did bring in Jeremy's, where'd it go? Here it is. We did bring in Jeremy's, Ghostface popcorn buckets. We watched the movie at a Regal, and, they didn't say anything. Jeremy just brought it right in. We got his popcorn. There's actually, there's a couple of kernels of popcorn still down in little pieces of popcorn. Need to wash it out. But they didn't, there were no issues. He sat and ate his popcorn out of his Ghostface head, and it was all good. It was all good. And Jeremy is funny because he really does he loves the murder and the death. He really does. Because like during those scenes, he's like squirming around in his chair, and like he's being really, when he's excited, he'll do this thing where like he kind of squeezes his cheeks, and like he rubs his hands in the back of his hands on his cheeks, and he was doing that quite a bit during Scream 6. So he was really enjoying Ghostface being mean. He likes it when people are mean in movies, particularly the villains. So, yeah, he really does like the bloodshed and all that stuff. So, and if you guys did not see, the Jeremy Time video where we go to watch Scream 6 and he gives you his thoughts on the movie and whatnot, that video is now available on my channel. So, no, Jeremy doesn't react to nude scenes in movies, really. He used to. When he was younger, he'd go like, uh-oh. Now he's just like, whatever. So, well, Jeremy, see, where we watched the movie at a Regal, and they only serve Pepsi products. So Jeremy had to get a Pepsi. See, he and I are both, Coke kids, but he also loves his Mountain Dew. But at that theater, he's always going for the Pepsi. I think Jeremy loves the big screen. I think he really likes the recliners. He's spoiled by the recliner seating, as am I. They're so comfortable. There's perfect spacing. There's plenty of room. You don't feel cramped. You put your legs up and it's just like, oh, so comfortable. It's incredibly difficult to go back to just a regular movie seat after you've been spoiled by the recliners. So, We don't sit. We don't sit like way up front. I like to get kind of like that first row in the upper part is kind of like where I like to get, like right in the middle. Those are the seats I like to get. So we're kind of front and center on the movie. I like death too, Piz. I just want to party. You always sneak in a sausage and peppers sub and a PBR. Nice. Nice. I remember when you were struggling with whether to take Jerms to the movies. I love that it's become something he really enjoys. Yeah. It's become something he really, really enjoys. He's already, he's already got his heart set next on that Salem's Lot remake, which is supposed to come out next month. Although there's not been a trailer or anything for it yet, and it's scheduled to come out next month. I would not be surprised if it doesn't get pushed back again. So, Jeremy's been looking forward to that Salem's Lot remake since they announced it in like 2019. So, I'm looking forward to Evil Dead Rise. Yes, I am looking forward to Evil Dead Rise. What did you think of the Billy Loomis ghost visions? I didn't. They were kept to a minimum here. I did like them in Scream 5. I'm not going to lie. I did kind of like them in Scream 5. Here they were kept to a minimum, which I appreciated. There was a scene with him toward the end that I thought was kind of cool. But that's something else a lot of people have issues with, especially with Scream 6. Like, I've heard a lot of people have issues with this the Billy visions. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on the Billy visions? Are you cool with them? Are you not? I mean, I do like the fact, and here's the thing about Sam that I think makes her an interesting character. She's a final girl or woman, whatever, but she has a dark side. There's definitely a dark side to her, and the dark side, there's an internal struggle there where, when she gets all knifey, she really likes it. She's got some blood. She's got some of the old man's bloodlust in her. So when she starts getting knifey on people, you can tell she's liking it. She's getting off on it. You know what I mean? Like in 5, when she got knifey on Richie, I thought she was kind of hot when she got knifey on Richie there toward the end. I don't know. Maybe I just like, kind of woman who you don't know if she's going to kiss you or kill you. Dangerous women. Yeah. And she does the same thing here too. And she's, I don't know. She's got her old man's bloodlust, and I kind of like that. I like that struggle, that conflict in her. And I think we'll definitely see a lot more of that in 7. You know what, JoJo, you're right. I really thought you're right. I'm not going to say anything, but I thought she was going to at the end there, JoJo. You don't like the Billy Loomis visions, Mr. Flickster. Joey says he's helping his daughter in a dark. Yeah, he is. He really is giving her. He's giving her sound advice. He really is. He is giving her good advice. I mean, that's true. Your bloodthirsty homicidal, the visions of your bloodthirsty homicidal father are giving you some really good advice. That's when you know you're in trouble. you know, that's a good sign that you need help. The horror says, I like the Billy Visions. Dave says, I don't mind the Billy Visions. They were used pretty much just for fan service, but I love them. Joey loves them. It's a no for me, says Redbeard. Michael says, more Billy Visions. Okay, all right. Is Jeremy going to watch the Barbie movie with Margot Robbie in theaters? You know, Jeremy was a big Margot Robbie guy there for a long time, but he's not mentioned Margot Robbie in a while. So I don't know. Maybe his Margot Robbie crush is over. Sam is the new Dexter. I don't really have an opinion either way about them. I don't hate them, but I wouldn't feel like I'm missing something if they weren't there. I thought it was dumb in 5 and 6. I knew to expect it, so it didn't bother me as much, especially since it was used less. You know, I've watched just a very little amount of a very small amount of Dexter. So so yeah, the Billy Visions, you know, if you've not dropped a like on the stream, please do so. I would appreciate that. So we've talked about Neve. It seems like most people did not miss Sydney in this one. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how she's handled in 7. I don't know if we went into too much detail on Kirby. I thought she was kind of wasted here. What were thumbs up or thumbs down in the chat on Kirby's inclusion? To me, it just felt like she was shoehorned in and just didn't have a whole lot to do. And, you know, it was fan service for fan service's sake. I don't know. I could have definitely gone without her. If she wasn't in the movie, I wouldn't have missed her. I wouldn't have missed her. Kirby was just there. Of the Radio Silence films, I still put Ready or Not on the top of the list. Yeah, I would too. I would too. I wanted Kirby to die in Scream 6. Okay, all right. I do feel like they could have done more with her, but I enjoyed it. I was excited to see her come back, and then it gave us nothing. Yeah. I think that's probably a lot of the diehard Kirby fans who were super excited to see her back, but then, like, you know, she's just not given a whole lot to do. Thumbs in the middle from Saturn Video. Cool to see her, but didn't really feel much presence. Yep, exactly, Steven. Exactly. I feel the same about Kirby, says Mark. Yeah, I mean, trauma definitely changes people, but I mean, they could have given her, they should have just gave her more, given her something else to do. I don't know. Again, it just felt so, she just felt wedged in for no reason other than fan service. Yeah, Ready or Not was pretty good. If you guys haven't seen Ready or Not, it's from the Radio Silence Collective, and it stars Samara Weaving, and I really enjoyed it. So I would highly recommend it. So now here's going to be, all right, I'm going to close this poll out 136 votes, Scream 6, 84% thumbs up, 16% thumbs down. So it seems like most people really liked Scream 6. That's cool. Now, this is going to be a divisive question. Very divisive question. All right, here we go. Should Stu return in Scream 7? There's so much, even in this, I mean, Stu got a shout out in this movie. And it was one of those shout outs like, well, is he dead? Is he not dead? According to Kevin Williamson, because Stu was not in Scream 6, or I'm sorry, because Stu was not in Scream 3, and the original idea for Scream 3 was to have Stu revealed as the killer there, he is officially dead in the Scream canon. But how many dead characters have come back? I mean, Kirby was dead and she came back. I mean, freaking how many people got gutted in this movie and they're still alive? How many times did Dewey get stabbed, multiple times, and he just kind of, he'd show up in the next movie with a little limp and that was it. I mentioned on Drum Dum's stream the other night, like I wouldn't be surprised if Roman from part 3 didn't show up with like a little scratch on his forehead, So the Radio Silence folks are very much about fan service. And I think the ultimate fan service with Scream 7 would be the inclusion of Stu. Stu's not dead. Stu somehow survived. He's been, I don't know how they would explain it. I've heard different theories. Well, Stu's parents were rich and they paid off this person and they paid off this, agency, and they paid off the cops and they paid off the courts and they paid off, and he's been hiding underground all these years. I would not put it past Radio Silence, knowing how much they love fan service. I wouldn't put it past them bringing him back, but I think it's a long shot. I really do think it's a long shot, because if he's back in 7, if he is revealed as the killer in 7, I mean, it's going to be audiences will freak out. There'll be a huge pop. Everybody will go nuts. Everybody will love it. It'll be, oh my God, it'll be huge. It'll be huge. But I think once that excitement rolls back a little bit, people are going to be like, well, that doesn't make sense. That was kind of dumb. They kind of ruined Stu. That ruins everything. Like, I don't know. It'll be very tricky for them to bring Stu back and not mess things up. Again, because again, where's he been? You know what I mean? Like, how are they going to explain that? I mean, of course they can explain, well, the TV just fell on his head, and they'll put like a little scar on the side of his face, whatever. But, where's he been? How'd he get away? Where's he been hiding? It's going to be, I don't know. It's going to be too much.
No, I wouldn't dream of breaking your underwear rule.
Oh, we got more underwear rule breaking out there. Creasefold, thank you for the additional $2 super chat. Stu with a fried egg on his face, chef's kiss. There you go. Yep. He'll have the fried egg, the Dr. Loomis fried egg from Halloween 4. On the side of his face. What I think they could do with 7 and tie it back into Stu is it's a family member of Stu's. It's a mocker. It's Stu's sister or Stu's, I don't know. And I don't know, maybe this, and what they could do is, they could show flashbacks of Billy and Stu plotting the murders in the original film. Let's digitally de-age Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich. And, there they are back together again, and there you go. You've got flashbacks of Billy and Stu. You've got Stu's sister out there calling the shots. She's been the mastermind orchestrating all this, everything from Scream 5, Scream 6, and now this one. It's all been for Stu. I just don't think we're going to see Stu unless she's having visions of Stu the same way Sam is having visions of Billy. And then what if those visions, okay, here's the closing scene in Scream 7. You've got Sam with Ghost Billy in her corner, and you've got Stu's sister with Ghost Stu in her corner. And they're duking it out. And the ghosts are like screaming at each other, and like they're screaming instructions at Sam and sister Stu. And like, I mean, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. So let's take a look at the poll here. 56 votes, 70% want Stu to return. I just don't think I don't know. I just don't think it's going to be all that you think it's going to be. I just don't think it's going to be all that you think it's going to be. I think it's going to be, I don't know. I love Matthew Lillard. The Stu character is pretty awesome. Stu's dad, played by Tom Atkins. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now we're talking. I would say bringing him back requires logic, but after seeing most of the people survive what happened to them in Scream 6, all logic was defied. It'd be too easy to mess it up. Yeah, it's going to be super easy, I think, to mess it up. And I think if they mess it up, that's going to just kind of put a stain on the first movie and on Stu and, that legacy. And I would kind of hate to see that happen. Because, I mean, if you bring Stu back, you're going to have that big pop, like I said. But then when it comes to him explaining where he's been and whatnot, if you follow up that pop with sighs of exasperation and people cringing and rolling their eyes because, that explanation is ridiculous, then, I mean, you've... No more with the relative revenge motives. Bring Stu back. Bring Neve back. Have a final showdown to end this new trilogy. I would love to see Scream 7 untether itself from the original storyline as totally as possible. New generation, new mythology. There you go. Swaggy, that's a good idea. Before Stu died, he transferred his soul into a doll. I think that's a great idea. That's never been done before either. I think that could work. You're on to something there. Pizzo's dad is Tom Atkins and his grandfather is Charles Bronson. It's funny. See, that's kind of a good, that could happen, Sean. Yeah. I think we may get something like a letter being found from Stu and maybe a Stu voiceover. Yeah. Yeah. I could definitely see something like that happen, maybe even like a little flash of like a de-aged Matthew Lillard, yeah, I could see that. That's probably how you're going to get Stu back in 7, honestly. If they bring Stu back in 7. I honestly, Joey, I didn't miss Dewey in this Scream either. I did like the moment where Ghostface taunts Gale about Dewey. I really liked that moment. But I didn't miss Dewey. I didn't miss and when they played the little Dewey theme, that was cool. I enjoyed that. But I didn't miss Dewey. I didn't miss Sydney. I think the Nosferatu remake from Robert Eggers is going to be great. I can't wait for it, Gozer. I think, and Bill Skarsgård is perfectly cast to play Count Orlok. I can't wait. That's going to be awesome. Can't freaking wait. That's a good point too, Michael. Here's the problem with 7. If you've got newbies ending up being the killers again, what's the point? I think, if you watch, I think the killer in 7 is going to be a newbie, but they're going to tie that newbie into everything. Again, I think it's going to probably be a relative of Stu's. Or it's going to be some long-lost relative, maybe another Carpenter relative. Or maybe even, hey, what about Sam and Tara's mom? Where's she been? Where's she been? What's she been doing? Maybe we'll find out that Stu had an affair with her behind Billy's back. And actually, hold up. Tara is actually Stu's daughter. And Sam is Billy's daughter. Okay? All right, now we're talking. See, and I could see them kind of doing something like that too. Fright Night Films, where Sam kind of just, I don't know, Sam snaps, or something causes Sam to snap. I don't know. They're definitely gonna play on that some more. She's got that, she's got that dark side. She's got Billy, trying to lead her deeper into the dark side. Although he's given her good advice, but that's the trick the devil pulls. That's the trick the devil pulls on you. He tells you the truth until he tells you a lie. But you believe the lie because he's told you the truth up to this point. But that lie costs you your soul. Total telenovela move. Hey, you never know what's going to happen. It's a Scream movie. Well, actually, you kind of do know what's going to happen in a Scream movie, but I don't know. They may mix it up. You never know. Being a white Latino, I'd buy that piz. I want the killer to get away with it. I think if they were going to do that, Swaggy, they would have done that with this one. And I kind of wish they would have. I wish they would have left this one on a cliffhanger. So you had to, I kind of wish they would have left this one on a cliffhanger, honestly. Letting Ghostface get away with it. Just imagine how that would have spilled. Now we've got to wait a whole year to find out who Ghostface was. I think that would have been the smart move, in my opinion. Because that would have created such, oh my God. People would have been freaking out. The anticipation for Scream 7, which I think is already really high, would have just been through the roof. And of course, the speculation that it's Stu would have been all the more, intense if they'd left this movie on that, on a cliffhanger. I think they really should have done that. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do that with 7 because they're going to wrap things up with 7, and then in, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years, we'll get another requel or reboot or whatever with some new characters, and then maybe we'll get some legacy characters from this trilogy coming over into the next one. Oh. Where's the Good Doctor tonight? The Good Doctor's always not far away. I've just not had any of the Good Doctor. I'd like to see Jack Dawson in Scream 7. He was made of iron, sir. Unsinkable. Ghostface is in Nova Scotia with Harry Warden. Ooh. A Scream My Bloody Valentine crossover. I'd be up for that. But yeah, if they were going to let Ghostface get away, it would have happened here. It's not going to happen in 7. Roger Jackson is the unsung hero of this franchise. I agree. I agree. I really do. He is literally the voice of the franchise. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you look at the trajectory of Scream 5 and Scream 6, it kind of seems like they're going to follow that's, the Scream 3 kind of thing. But I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't throw in a bunch of elements from Scream 4 too. With Emma Roberts' character wanting to be rich and famous and, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, there might be a family element in 7, but there may also be, this element of... But I mean, Scream 4, Emma Roberts was a relative of Sydney, right? So, I don't know. That's a good question, Nico. I don't know if Roger Jackson's done conventions or not. Yeah, CJM, we talked about that at the beginning of Scream. Yeah, we all congratulated Jamie Lee on her Oscar victory. I think that's cool. Good for her. Good for her. Let's do an Oscars. Let's do an Oscars. Let's see who's won stuff here. I don't. Looks like they've not. They've done the best supporting stuff. Where are the best actor? Best actor in a supporting role. Oh, Ke Huy Quan won for Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's cool. And of course, Jamie Lee won for Everything Everywhere All at Once. So it looks like they're doing the technical awards now. Roger Jackson has done conventions before. Okay. All right. Oh, Entertainment Wizard has actually met Roger Jackson. Cool. Jeremy would love to meet him. What's up, Reorden? How are you doing tonight, sir? How did all those characters get stabbed multiple times and just brush it off and go on to White Castle for dinner? It's called plot armor. Very, very thick plot armor. Yes. Favorite Saw movie? That would be the first Saw movie. Yeah. I loved The Shrine. I loved seeing Tatum's outfit. Yeah, there was a lot of cool little... there was a lot of cool little moments in the Shrine, like you saw Stu's like smoking jacket and of course the TV, and you saw Billy's bloody shirt, and they had all the Ghostface costumes from all the different killers, and like they had Mrs. Loomis's jacket, and You know, they had a lot of stuff in there. But yeah, it was cool kind of picking out those different things. And they mentioned the TV series too. They gave the TV series a little bit of a shout out. I don't even know what movies are nominated for Best Picture. Southpaw, I'm sorry. Del Toro's Pinocchio won Best Animated Feature. Okay, cool. Well, good for Benicio del Toro. I'm happy for him. Or not Benicio del Toro. Oh jeez. Benicio del Toro. Gosh. Oh my God. Why can't I think of his name? Oh my God. Guillermo del Toro. Jeez, why couldn't I think of that? Yeah. Good for Guillermo. Good for Guillermo. Am I psyched for the Burial Ground 4K? Yes. Yes, I am super psyched for the Burial Ground 4K. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. By the way, I'm going to have a new I Love Physical Media video coming out very soon also. And if you're a patron, our review of Dr. Pepper, Strawberries and Cream is available now. So if you're a patron, that review is available over on my Patreon. So yeah, Scream 6, I enjoyed it. There were some caveats, of course. It's not perfect. It's got some issues. But overall, it delivered what I expected. And I don't know. I think maybe... I mean, on one hand, it's kind of sad that I feel like it's kind of sad that you have to lower your expectations for movies. But also I think, us as horror fans, maybe we get our expectations up too high. And it's not fair to the movies or to the filmmakers, because we do get our expectations up way too high. So, yeah, I got what I wanted out of Scream 6, and that's it. And I was perfectly happy with it. It has issues. It's far from perfect, but I had fun with it, and I'm actually looking forward to watching it again. So, yeah.
No, I wouldn't dream of breaking your underwear rule.
Oh, somebody else is after the underwear rule. Joey, thank you for the $5 super chat, sir. That's very kind of you. Imagine the ghosts of Billy, Stu, and Roman all come together in 7 and are the killers. How crazy of a twist would that be? I don't see Roman returning. I don't know. Maybe. God, who knows? I mean, maybe Sydney will start having Roman visions, And like Roman will be, giving her advice. We'll have Stu's sister with Stu giving her advice, and Sam with Billy, and, Sydney with freaking Roman. Sydney could have Roman on one shoulder and Emma Roberts on the other. You never know. I did notice that, Michael. I did notice the 4 Flies on Gray Velvet shirt. Yeah. That was a nice little touch. Kevin, how's it going, man? How are you? I am doing well. Have you seen Scream 6 yet, Kevin? If so, let us know your thoughts. Richard Chisholm, Scream 3 is my least favorite sequel. You know, I've been kind of thinking about going back and revisiting 2, 3, and 4. Because I've only seen 4 once, and that was back in the theater when it first came out. And I've not seen 2 or 3. I've seen 2 and 3 both more than once, but I've not seen them in years. So, I mean, I am kind of tempted to want to go back and revisit those and maybe do like a ranking video or something. So, I don't know. That may happen. Although, it seems like it'd be better to wait for 7 to come out before I do a ranking video. They also need to make horror movies accessible to the masses, not just us fans. I think horror movies have become just naturally, it seems like, far more accessible. I mean, look at, Scream 6 has made $67 million. You know, horror is doing really well. And not just the big franchise stuff. I mean, look at, Skinamarink got a theatrical release and made good money. Of course, I mean, Terrifier 2, we all know, huge theatrical release, made millions and millions and millions of bucks. That Winnie the Pooh horror movie got a theatrical release and made, it's at least made, a couple of $1 million at the box office at this point. And even, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, none of those movies would have gotten a theatrical release. There's no way in hell Terrifier 2 would have gotten a theatrical release 5 years ago. There's no way Skinamarink would have got a theatrical release 5 years ago. Just wouldn't happen. Same thing with Winnie the Pooh. That movie in the theater? Come on. So, the genre is doing really, really well. And I'm happy. I'm happy that it is. If horror is doing well at the box office, then that means we're going to get more horror and more theatrical horror. Even the smaller movies are getting their shot in the theaters, and I think that's cool. Usu, you're watching It Chapter 2 right now. Oh, that's the last movie I recall seeing that I just really despised. I don't even want to think about it. 65 kind of flopped it. What was 65? What are we talking about? 65. Oh, okay, that movie with Adam Driver. Okay. All right. So that movie has not done very well, huh? Well, when a Scream movie is making $67 million at the box office, that means a lot of people are seeing it and they're not watching what else is there. So I'm still looking forward to hidden horror gems from the 80s. I enjoyed Pieces. Cool, Cotton Eye Joe. Cool. I'm glad you liked Pieces. Great freaking movie. Let's look at the Stu poll here. Should Stu return in Scream 7? 75 votes. 71% say yes. 71% say yes. Okay. I don't know. Again, I wouldn't put it past Radio Silence because they're so big on fan service. I just don't think it'll turn out. I don't think it'll turn out. Watching Purple Rain tonight. Now that's a banger. That's a banger. I'm glad horror movies are having a resurgence. Just about the only movies that aren't comic book films that are turning a profit in theaters are horror movies. Yes. Yes. That is true. That is true. Can I do a poll on who's the best Ghostface killer from the first 3 films? Okay. Well, actually, I mean, that's 5 different killers, right? All right, I'm going to do it this way. All right, I'm just going to put best killers. Scream, Scream 2, Scream 3. All right, so there's the poll. Who was your favorite? Who's your favorite Ghostface? Scream 1, Scream 2, or Scream 3? And I know there were multiple Ghostfaces in 1 and 2, but who's your favorite? And then, if you want to post in the chat who specifically is your favorite Ghostface killer, go ahead and do that. Billy, Stu, Mickey, Mrs. Loomis, Roman. That's a good question, Richard. Which killer from Scream was the most surprising? Good question. I mean, for me personally, I thought when I remember watching Scream 1 for the first time, and they brought in Billy and they did the thing with Billy, and they really made it seem like Billy was obviously the killer, right? But then, he had this kind of redemptive thing, and then of course he dies, and I was like, oh wow, okay, yeah, I get it. And then the swerve was it is Billy, but I wasn't expecting in the original Scream for there to be 2 killers. So I was surprised. I'm used to the old, just one killer thing. You know what I mean? Even in the murder mystery slashers, it's usually only just one person. So I wasn't expecting there to be 2 killers, and I was surprised when Billy turned out to be one of them. There's Nick from the Lost River Drive-In. How's it going? Lee got that stick out of his butt. Okay, thank God. Thank God, Lee. Thank God you did that for Lee, Nick. Thank God. He needed that thing removed. Michael Sullivan says Mickey and Stu are his favorites. Okay. Friday Night Film says Stu and Billy. Stu all the way. Necro Christ. Jill would be a close second, says Necro Christ. Okay. That was Emma Roberts. Billy Loomis and his mom. Okay. Stu. I'm a Billy fan, meeting Skeet Ulrich in August. Okay. Cool, Saturn. Roman is underrated, says Redbeard. I loved Billy and Stu, but my favorite is Roman because he was the only Ghostface to do it on his own. Yeah, well, they were gonna throw a swerve at us in 3, and it was gonna be Roman and that woman who the actress who Sydney caught in the bathroom stall with the phone and the Ghostface outfit. She was supposed to be the killer too, or she was supposed to be working with Roman, but they changed their mind. Or they changed their minds, I guess I should say. Mrs. Loomis did a great Scream version of Mrs. Voorhees. Mickey all day, ruthless and scary to me. Believed it that he was killing because he really enjoyed it and he wanted to get caught. Best killer is Bobby and Ray from Scary Movie. Scream 3, Roman for Joey. What's up, the dead recliner? How you doing? Who was the worst Ghostface killer? Ooh, that's a good one. Who's the worst Ghostface killer? It's either going to be 4 or 5, I think, for me. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Worst Ghostface killer. I think Sharon Stone should be the killer in 7. Wow. So are you saying that Sharon Stone is going to turn out to be like Sam and Tara's mother? Or is she going to show up as like, I don't know, Stu's? Well, no, she might be too old. I think she'd be too old to be Stu's sister. Maybe she could be Stu's aunt. You know? Human Torch, Kreisfold. Yep. I agree. Rory Culkin, my least favorite killer in the series. Yeah, he was just such a... yeah. I remember, like, you know, when he dies in Scream 4, I just felt like, what a loser. Like, that sap, that sucker, you know? Wow, the poll's not even close. Everybody loves Billy and Stu from the original Scream. Totally understand that. Oh, I forgot about the "Your Mama's No Sharon Stone" line from the original Scream. Yeah, that's funny. Scream 5 for me. I hated Amber. Yeah, she was not. She was not a great Ghostface. Not at all. How about that yellow dress from Scream 6? No complaints from me there. The John Wick 4 trailer didn't look very good. Hopefully it's better than that. I got it. Oh, Jesus God. This is one of my least favorite things about going to the movies. Scream 6 had, I'm not kidding, 30 solid minutes of trailers and commercials. And every trailer, with the exception of Renfield, looked and sounded exactly the same. It was just a mess. Every trailer was a mess of CGI, heroes versus villains. Oh, God. Oh. Those were the worst trailers I've ever had to sit through. 30 solid minutes of trailers and commercials before Scream 6 started. I was in a bad mood by the time the movie started because it was just horrible. One awful trailer after the other. The only saving grace was the Renfield trailer. But God, these trailers are so bad. Jesus, God. Like I don't know how anybody could watch. And I'm not going to pick a specific trailer out. I don't know how anybody could watch any of those trailers, minus Renfield. Maybe John Wick 4. You know, I mean, I've liked the John Wick movies, but I think you're really stretching it at John Wick 4. But all those other trailers just looked horrendous. How those are supposed to convince people to come to the theater and watch those movies, I have no idea. How anyone would watch that trailer and then go, yeah, I'm gonna go watch that. I don't get it. Maybe I'm just old and out of touch, but God, and every trailer is like 2 minutes long or longer, and it's It's like, why even show up to the movie early? You know, you've got a 30-minute window. And I used to love watching trailers before a movie. I loved watching trailers before a movie. Now it's just another reason why I dislike going to the theater. It's like I want to get there early because I don't want to be like, you know, crunching on nachos or, you know, popcorn while watching the movie. I want to eat before the movie starts, and I want to get comfortable and be there before the movie starts. But then you've got 30 minutes of god awful trailers to sit through. Piz and Friends don't Hollywood movies all seem cookie cutter when trailers are shown in lumps. Yes. I couldn't tell them apart. Really, The only time I could tell a movie, I could tell they were all just clumped together, with the exception of Renfield and John Wick 4. Like some of the trailers, I didn't even see a human person in the trailer. It was all just a CGI, a CGI thing. Like where's the people? There was like no people in the trailer. It was all just like a CGI thing, or like here's an explosion, or like, Hey, Jeremiah, what's up, man? How you doing, sir? Your thoughts on Scream 6? 20 to 30 minutes of trailers before a movie is criminal. It is. It really, and I don't want to see don't give me a Coca-Cola commercial. Show me trailers, okay, but don't show me an M&M commercial and then a Coca-Cola commercial and then a Progressive insurance commercial. I can see that crap on, like, God. Nico. I was in the front row and I couldn't help myself. I flipped off the Transformers trailer. Yeah. And some meanies booed you? Oh, jeez. Oh. Yeah, I didn't flip it off, but I mean I certainly felt like it. Good Lord. All right, I'm going to end this poll. This is an easy victory for the original Scream killers. Jeremiah's only seen Scream 1 through 4. What, really? You just not interested in the new Scream movies? You don't want to see the new Fast? Actually, there was not a trailer for the new Fast and Furious movie before Scream, Riz. No, there wasn't. I was going to say there might have been, because at some point I just went into like a CGI induced coma, but no, there wasn't a trailer for the new Fast movie. Gotta say my Ghostface print is a great seller though. Yeah, I can imagine. I think it's time for Nightmare on Elm Street to wake up and start working on something good. I mean, I know that they're working on something new, Nightmare on Elm Street related. But I mean, you'd think that like with, all this, all the money that the last 3 Halloween movies have made, all the money that Scream 5 made, this huge opening for Scream 6, that like, New Line and Warner Brothers would really get motivated to get that done, because I mean, legacy stuff is hot. Same thing with Friday the 13th. I know they're working on a Friday the 13th movie. I know, Sean Cunningham is developing that. But I mean, I don't know. Part of me is like, take your time, get the right story, and then take it from there. But, I mean, horror is hot. And as much love and excitement as there is for Scream, I mean, just imagine, a new Nightmare on Elm Street gets announced, or a new Friday the 13th movie gets announced. I arrived 10 minutes late to the theater. I guess I'm glad I was late, since there were still trailers showing when I arrived. Yeah, it's like there's no incentive really to show up early anymore, because you've just got all these awful trailers to sit through. And jeez. Yes, Michael, mine did too. My theater had an introduction from Melissa Barrera and Courtney Cox as well. Yes. Rewatching 1 through 4, just finished 2, so I can watch 5 and 6 soon. Okay, that's cool, Jeremiah. Oh, crutch, you're probably going to be waiting for that forever. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Behind the Mask Rise of Leslie Vernon sequel. I just don't see that ever happening these days. I loved that movie, but I could definitely see Bill Skarsgård as Freddy Krueger. I could definitely see that. I think he'd do a good job. I've not seen Knock at the Cabin. A friend of mine at one of the studios said the average trailer time now carved out at theaters is 28 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't increase, honestly. I mean, pretty soon we're going to be spending 40 minutes worth of trailers before a movie starts. Would not surprise me at all. What's up, Kurt? What's up, Kurt24? Just checking in. I enjoyed the new movie, but the motive killers were kind of meh. Ghostface with the mask is such a brute force that unmasked just a rinky-dink. Hate that. That's happened with more than one of the Scream sequels where, Ghostface is a brute, and then, when they're unmasked, it's like, oh, it's it's like this 5'2" person. I guess they had lifts in their boots. Like 25 lifts in their boots. And they were on stilts or something. I don't know. Lots of padding. I'm looking forward to the Meg 2 also, Michael Sullivan. I wish my local cinema could play 80s horror movies. Well, it's always cool because some theaters do that where they'll have like a flashback weekend or something like that where they'll play, a classic movie, for a weekend. I've done that several times with like Halloween and Jaws, Blade Runner. There's been a few. Evil Dead Rise looks like it's going to be really nasty. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Evil Dead Rise. I think it's going to be good. By the way, how you doing, Killer Cutie? You think it's going to be Saw nasty? Maybe. I am looking forward to it, though. You saw Child's Play last Sunday in Cinemark? That's cool. That's one Jeremy, that'd be a fun one to go and to watch with Jeremy in the theater. Oh yeah, the original Texas Chainsaw, that'd be great to see on the big screen. I'd like to see the original Chainsaw with like a 35 millimeter print screening of it. That's the way to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre on the big screen, I think. Due to a lack of interest, Rise of Vernon 2 is the reason why the sequel was not made. Lack of funding. Yeah. That's too bad. There's Mishra Shade. How you doing tonight? You saw Jaws on IMAX. That was cool. Jeremy and I watched Scream 6 on the Regal Premium experience. The big wide screen with the extra surround sound. So that was pretty cool. But I know I've seen several of those flashback kind of screenings. Jaws was one. I want to say I saw The Lost Boys was one was a movie I caught during one of those as well. I know Jaws was great to see on the big screen. Blade Runner was great to see on the big screen. I know there's more. There's more. I just can't. I think I maybe I did see Halloween on the big screen. Had a booth next to Nathan of Behind the Mask at Midwest Monster Fest, and he says there is a script, just nothing has panned out. Nathan was a great dude. We shared pizza and laughs all weekend. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. It's too bad. I mean, there's a big fan base for Behind the Mask. So I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that, if they didn't go the crowdfunding route, that they couldn't at least raise, I don't know, enough to do that movie. I mean, they'd have to do it on the cheap, but I don't know. It's too bad. We never got a Behind the Mask 2. What horror movie would you like to see in the theater that you haven't seen? That's a good question. Oh God. I saw The Shining on the big screen. That was a good one to see. That was a fun one. Gosh. Well, I mentioned Chainsaw, but I'd like to see like a 35 millimeter print of that one. That one would be cool. How about Spookies? How about like a 35 millimeter screening of Spookies? That'd be awesome. Or 35 millimeter print of Burial Ground. That'd be great. Yeah, there you go. Or maybe even, like, Fulci's The Gates of Hell. That'd be a good one to see on the big screen, like a 35 millimeter print of that one. That'd be sweet. No, my theater didn't hand out the posters. My theater, the Regal didn't do the posters. They didn't do the cups. They didn't do anything. All the other theaters had like, the popcorn thing, or like the cup with the little Ghostface figure on it, or the posters. Yeah. Regal didn't do nothing. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Yeah, it seems like Shudder. I do know this about Shudder when it comes to, they don't offer you a lot of money. I do know that. They're not throwing out a whole lot of money to you. And they would rather like either option or buy the movie from you after you've already made it than give you the money to make it. Seeing Fulci's Zombie in the theater on first release in an afternoon I'll never forget. Oh gosh, I bet that was awesome. I thought Scream 6 was such a great movie and I thoroughly enjoyed it. That's cool, Amir. Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. I definitely enjoyed it as well. Hobgoblins. I got to see Friday the 13th Part 3 in 1982 in real 3D. That's cool, Dave. That's cool. Suspiria would be cool on the big screen, yeah. That'd be really cool on the big screen. Oh, really, Jojo? You got an extra poster? Yeah, please. That'd be great, man. I'd appreciate that. Yeah, send me a message on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or through my website. That'd be great. The Scare Package movies. I don't think I've seen any of the Scare Package movies. Are the Scare Package movies good? I've not seen the Outwaters yet. No, I have not. They only showed 3 trailers at your theater, Kevin. Oh my God, you got lucky. You got lucky. Went to a midnight showing of Fight Club just 2 years after it was released. They canceled it. Oh, they canceled because of 9/11. It just happened. They showed Aliens instead. It was glorious. Yeah. Oh, I think I may have seen Aliens on the big screen during one of those flashback things. I think so. Oh, sure. I mean, I'd love to see any of the Friday the 13th movies in the theater. Like the original 35 millimeter print screening. That would be the way to go with those movies. Killer Cutie says, "Oh my God!" So I watched Return to Salem's Lot, and damn, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, I keep wanting to go and revisit Return to Salem's Lot because it is a crazy movie. I've just not quite found the time. I've got the Blu-ray. Phantasm on the big screen would be great. Yeah, I agree. I've not heard any new news on that film, Nico, the new Argento movie. Definitely looking forward to it, though. 13 trailers for Cocaine Bear. Holy God. Wow. Bill Nightbloom saw Faces of Death 1 and 2 on the big screen. Jeez. There's a theater near me showing the VHS version of Leprechaun next weekend, Jojo Rice. Wow. Wow. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. That would be the way to watch it too. Let's watch the VHS version. Yes. Oh goodness. Any other questions before we call it a night here? I think we've pretty much performed a pretty thorough postmortem on Scream 6. And I don't know who's looking forward to Scream 7. 1 in the chat if you're looking forward to Scream 7. 2 in the chat if you could care less. The shunting from Society on the big screen. That would be an experience. That would certainly be an experience. Oh, Richard Chiasson, thank you for becoming a channel member.
One scared cat. They call me Reggie the Reckless.
Yes, indeed. You are now officially one scared cat. Thank you. Did Brendan win yet? No, I don't think they've got that deep into the Oscars. The Oscars are like an 8-hour event, and they save those to like the very end. So, a lot of ones in the chat. I see. There's 1, 2. The Dead Recliner doesn't care about Scream 7, but looks like everybody else is excited for it. And I mean, it's coming out next year, right? So, do we have a release date for Scream 7? Let's see. Or I think they're filming it. this year, and it's going to come out next year, right? I think. No official release date yet. Okay. It's Scream 7's not been confirmed yet, but I think it's going to happen. No spoilers, but was the killer's motive better than the toxic fandom crap from Scream 5? Yes, it was better than toxic fandom. Certainly, yes. And if you've not dropped a like on the stream, please do so. I would appreciate that very much. What a night. Now for some 70s Shaw Brothers Kung Fu. That's a good way to end the night. That is a good way to end the night, Nico. I have to start watching the Leprechaun franchise. Enjoy that, Dave. Enjoy that. My first theater experience was for the first Batman movie as a kid. I still have the Batman koozie my dad bought that night. That's cool. That's very cool. Not If I See You First. I heard they're shooting 7 in the fall. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's. I was pretty sure they were shooting it sometime this year. Production starts in October. Okay. So yeah, it'll be out probably next year. I would say, I don't know, probably around this time, or they may even push it into the summer. I mean, Scream 6, this one made, what was it, 67 million? They may push it into the summer. Be like a big summer release. Good to see you, Piz. I'm going to go watch The Stuff. Have a good night, everyone. All right, cool. That's a good way to end the night, Miss Shade, with The Stuff. Had a great time tonight. Thanks, Piz, for all your hard work and dedication to us all. Love, Jeremy. Thank you, Mark. Gonna watch Scream 3 to end your night tonight, Joey. Cool. So yeah, my review of Scream 6 is on my channel. If you've not seen it yet, go check it out. It's no spoilers. It's spoiler free. And I dropped the Jeremy Time video of us going to see the movie with Jeremy's full thoughts on the film, as well as some extra footage of him running around a bookstore. Tomorrow I'm going to drop our review of Dr. Pepper Strawberries and Cream. But if you're a patron, that review's already up for you guys. You guys got early access to that one. I'm going to be scheduling this month's patron stream very soon. I'm going to be scheduling a new patron and channel member watch party very soon as well. And I'm going to try and do like a monthly Twitch watch party. So earlier this month we did The Burning. And next month, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning toward The Prowler, but we'll see. Hidden gem horror recommendations from the 80s. Cotton Eye Joe would like some hidden horror gems from the 80s. I'll throw out there Spookies, one of my favorite 80s horror gems. Neon Maniacs, I would throw that one out there as well. Gosh, there's a lot. There's a lot. There's you two. There's two. Spookies and Neon Maniacs. Also, The Stuff. The Stuff. Definitely check out The Stuff if you haven't seen it. So there's 3. It is just after 3 a.m. in England, so I should get to sleep before work starts in a few hours. Have a great evening, Piz, and everyone, great stream. Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, get you some sleep, bud. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us. Miss Rashade says, happy birthday to me. Yeah, not a bad 80s slasher. Sort of an 80s slasher with kind kind of, yeah, some giallo kind of elements in there. Yeah, not bad. The Being says Saturn Video. You know, I've tried to track down The Being since Jeremy mentioned it during our review of the Peeps Pepsi, but I can't find it anywhere. The Mutilator. Yep, there you go. That's a good one. Thank you, Mark. Thanks for the stream, Piss. Thank you for tuning in, Harrison. I appreciate it. Bloody Birthday. Yes, that's a good one. That's a good one, Cotton Eye Joe. Love Bloody Birthday. So there's a number of recommendations. The Being got a Code Red Blu-ray? I couldn't find it anywhere. Let me see. Is it out of print? Is it like super expensive? Oh, there it is. Why couldn't I? For some reason that didn't. $15. That's not bad. Yeah, I may have to pick that up. It's funny. I kept thinking Jeremy was saying the bean. The bean. I was like, the bean. What? Wait, the bean. Wait, what do you mean the bean? The bean. The bean. Like I'm sure he was getting frustrated with me. I was like, what? The bean? What? So yeah. My son is 14. He's not seen any of the Scream movies. The hype with Scream 6 he wants us to watch from the beginning. I haven't seen Scream since it came out. I was a senior in high school. I was, I was like a junior, I think, in high school when the first Scream came out. I think it was sophomore, junior. I don't remember. Somewhere in there when the first Scream came out. But it's awesome that these movies have hung around this long. Yeah, I agree. So there you go. Cotton Eye Joe, there's some recommendations for you. I loved Street Trash. That was classic. That's a classic. Yeah, Street Trash is great. Yeah. All right, so let's call it a night. I tell you what, let's bring out the doctor. Let's do a shot here for everybody who hung out with me tonight, who spent their Sunday with me talking about Scream 6 and a variety of other topics. So here we go. Thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. Always a pleasure. Have a great rest of your Sunday night. Cheers. That good doctor always hits the spot. Always hits the spot. Let me do some shout outs here. Shout out to Cotton Eye Joe, to Killer Cutie 07, to Riordan, and to John's Cool World, who tuned in over on Twitch. Shout out to Nico for the $10 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. Shout out to Creasefold for the $2 super chats. And shout out to Joey for the $5 super chat. Thank you very much. And shout out to Richard Chiasson for becoming a channel member. Very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see who's still with me here over on YouTube. We've got Dave in the chat. We've got Takeru Cage. We got Joey, Mark Striano, Mish Rashade, Richard Keith Bailey, Justin Smith, Eric Shosted, Future Dead Camper. We got Waldo, Jess, Scratch Burno, Harrison Perkins. We've got Not If I See You First, Sue, Stephen Mohasi. Hope I didn't butcher that too bad, Stephen. Mike Ormond. We've got Bill Nightbloom. We got Movie Fan. We got Captain Halloween, my buddy Keith. We got Redbeard, Adrian Stanfill, JoJo Rice, Jeremiah Lambert Art, Kevin Ellis, Kurt24, Amir M, Riz Ami, The Dead Recliner, great name. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in tonight. Always a pleasure. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Have a good week. And yeah, take care. Be well. Be good. And until next time, peace.